welcome to Ando's Thinky Time podcast. Thank you very much for your sacred attention. This episode is just another one of me talking. It's not featuring a guest. It's me talking about a piece of art that I ingested and had things to say about. This art was made by a corporation with millions of dollars at their disposal, and characters developed by our American culture over the last 70 plus years. It's a movie, man, a motion picture. I don't usually review movies because I'm not an expert in movies at all. And also, I don't watch a lot of movies, and so I'm not well versed in what's happening in the culture of movies. But I did see this because it was an important thing for me to see. They made a movie about a favorite character of mine. So this is me discussing that movie. If you like this podcast and you'd like to have some behind-the-scenes access to some of the content here, you can check out patreon.com/Ando the artist. That's where I post a lot of paintings that are in progress, watercolor work mostly. Music that hasn't been released yet. I'm a musician, did you know that? I have a new album that's going to come out pretty soon, and all that is already available on patreon.com/Ando the artist. If you like the music that is providing the background to this right now, the music I'm playing for you on the organ here, I hope that you will check out patreon.com/Ando the artist, because this track will be available there, along with last week's track and future tracks. So if you want to hear these songs again or by themselves without me blabbing all over them, that's the only way. Thanks very much for listening to this episode. Now I'm going to throw it to me in the future.
Emergency message. Emergency message. The following is a spoiler review for the film Justice League. If you have not seen the film and do not want it spoiled for you, and are the type of person who likes to write angry letters to happy podcasters who are just trying to discuss art, please do go and view the film first. Then return to this classic episode of Ando's Thinky Time podcast. Now returning you to your regularly scheduled program.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. There's a weird episode. Boy, I feel like I'll say that at the beginning of all these episodes. This is a weird episode. I'm going to review a movie, and I've never reviewed a movie before. I have a brother, actually, an older brother who's a professional movie critic. And I want to stay out of his lane. You know what I'm saying? But this movie is important to me. It's about something that I care a lot about. A topic, a character, a person that I care a lot about. And am very inspired by. And this person's name is Batman. I love Batman. I grew up with Batman, in the 80s and 90s. Right about the time I was kind of like very much into action figures and that kind of stuff. I ran into Batman the Animated Series with Kevin Conroy as Batman. He's the shit. Best fucking Batman ever, Kevin Conroy. That's my fucking Batman. And Mark Hamill is the Joker. Mark Hamill's a fucking classic Joker. I love that show. And mostly, I don't even want to watch it in my adulthood because I love the memory of it so much. And the toy line that came out associated with it. The Batman was just so great, big square jaw. I love that character. And one of the things I loved about Batman, and it was pretty obvious in the animated series this was the case, Batman doesn't wear armor He doesn't have superpowers. Everybody knows about Batman. But he doesn't even wear armor because he's like a ninja, you know? He's like a ninja detective. And that is fucking awesome. He's like the height of what a person can be. You know what I mean? But to get there, you have to be insane. That's the other part of Batman is sort of like insane. And in different stories, he's not so benign. Not so benignly insane. I mean, obviously, even in the animated series, grown-ass man Batman, who's going to, like, dodge machine gun fire for the evening, he's bringing this kid with him to go fight this war in the streets or whatever. Save somebody who's, like, you know, dangling over a vat of acid. He's got this kid with him. You know, that's a little insane. Why do you have a child with you, you know? But I always loved Robin too. Robin's not in the movie I'm talking about today, but Batman really influenced my childhood. He was my favorite character. And in toy land, you know, Batman never really got fucking killed or whatever in the stories. A lot of my characters got killed, of course, because it was me and my friends. My friend David Allen, I used to play toys with him all the time. And Batman was always like one of our key characters. He's just the shit, man. So Batman, you know, as I got older, I believe these kind of characters are kind of like American mythology. You know, we can't have things like Zeus, you know, and Hermes and all these motherfuckers. Even though those characters, I think, were mostly, you know, story tools for the people that dealt with them. Nowadays, we have Batman and Superman and, you know, Spider-Man and, you know, the X-Men and the Avengers and whatever. We have all these characters to tell stories with. And I believe it's an American art form, comic book. Comic bookery, perhaps. I believe it's an American art form. I think we invented it here. But it's a super powerful art form. And you know, Batman is a character that's like 75 years old. I love that shit, man. Fucking Batman is so dope. He's 75 years old, the character, and there's still stories to tell for Batman. You know what I mean? You know, that's way better than like, well, really, oh my God, you know what that is? That is a lot like Jesus, as a matter of fact, from the Bible. By the time they're writing stories about Jesus, it was like 75 or 100 years after his death, supposedly, if he even existed. All the dudes that were supposed to have been his buddies or whatever, apparently those documents are, you know, were made, you know, like 150, you know, as soon as 75 years after his death. And that's about how long we've been telling stories about Batman. It's just a shame that, like, we live in a time where we know for sure Batman never existed. Because if we didn't live in the information age, we might all be thinking, like, once upon a time in the 20s or whatever, there was this dude named Batman, and he beat the shit out of, you know, some, you know, hoods or whatever, some dudes in, like, some trench coats and shit. I don't know. Wow, I went really into a weird direction in the first 6 or so minutes of this movie review. I have not talked at all about movies at all. Fuck. I'm trying. Damn it. I got distracted. I love Batman. Maybe you can detect, man. And maybe I'll even talk about some Batman stories in the future that I'm particularly moved by. Or what I think Batman represents. You know, I have a lot to say about that. Maybe I'll just skip that for right now. This movie that I want to talk about is Justice League. They made a fucking Justice League movie. That thrills me, man. and to see Batman and Wonder Woman and The Flash and Aquaman on a poster together. Ooh, I like that, man. I guess maybe I'm a geek or whatever, a nerd. I'm not sure how you classify this, but I fucking love these characters. And it's so pleasing to see them. Mostly. I gotta say, as soon as the movie started, before the opening credits, there's like a little scene with Batman. And, man, I just gotta say, I'm let the fuck down by Batman's costume. I'm let down, dude. Ben Affleck worked so hard. He's working his ass off to build this muscle. When he's Bruce Wayne, you see him later in the movie and you're like, holy fuck, this guy's ripped. His arms are like legs, like horse legs. And he's just this giant dude. But in the bat mask, this motherfucker is having his face squished somehow. It's like this. It's squished like this. I can't imagine that this would translate in an audio podcast, but I'm squeezing my face together like the bat mask, and it's no wonder. I think Christian Bale had this problem too. His bat mask fucking squeezed his cheek meat too much, and it makes him look kind of like chubby, and it makes his voice like, I don't know, makes his voice sound weird. See how much more clarity I'm getting when I fucking don't squish the fuck out of my face? Why does Batman not have non-face squish technology? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck, Batman? Why is your face like this? That's one thing I hated about Christian Bale and his Batman. I could never really I think those movies are good movies. But I could never really get down with Batman in those movies because his face was like motorcycle helmet style. It would squish his fucking face. And Batman, he's got to talk like this. His fucking face squished together. Not to mention Batman in that movie had throat cancer or some shit. He's like, Batman, fuck. I hate that. I like the new movie where he's got like a vocal, like he's ransoming some child or something. He's got like some kind of vocal effect on there. I like that. Because that seems more like what a vigilante would have. Like a what do you call that? Some kind of effect. His mask has some kind of microphone in it. And I don't know what the fuck's happening there. But just it makes a little bit of masking for his voice. That's perfect. And it's better than Christian Bale's barking stuff. I don't like that shit. So it kind of almost ruined the movie for me in the first few seconds. By the time I see Batman, I'm like, Batman, you're here. I get real excited. And then he gets close to some guy and punches him in his fucking face or whatever. And like, you're supposed to be like, yeah, fucking Batman. But then I saw his face and I was like, oh, God damn it, Batman. Your cheek meat, Batman. Protect your cheek meat, bro. Why can't he be like the animated series Batman, be a ninja? Why does he need all this armor? That's bullshit. I think he should just be wearing like the cowl and the cape and the jumpsuit or what the fuck ever. It's like a onesie. He should be wearing the fucking onesie, dog. And this way, like, when he gets beat up in a fight, you can rip the onesie up, his suit, and it looks cool. He's bleeding everywhere and all this shit. That's what you want. That's what you need out of some Batman, some humanity. He's a human. Let him get injured and shit. Fuck. My God. I'm 11 minutes in, and I think I've talked for longer now than the point at which I got to in the movie talking about it. I think I'm complaining about the first, 3 minutes of this movie. And I've been talking for almost 12 minutes. Fuck. Well, podcasts are about talking. That's the whole fucking medium. I'm gonna let it happen. So I guess like the next thing I noticed as I think back was kind of the first song, how they kind of introduced the movie. They do like a cover of this cool song. There's this cool, it's like Everybody Knows. I don't know if you've heard this song. Everybody Knows. It's cool. It's a cool song. Dude with like this nice gritty voice is singing it. It's kind of like got this blues inspired thing. But God damn it. They've got some lady covering it, and it's fine. She does a fine job with it, but it just seems like a weird flavor to start the movie with. It's very like, I don't know. It's disappointing, man. I'm just unimpressed with that. Especially knowing what song they're covering and knowing, just use the original, man. It sounds so much nicer to me. Yeah, they take it to a weird place. But yeah, I gotta say, man, to hear Aquaman in this movie say some shit to Batman, and like, hey Batman, hey Aquaman, and shit like that, I'm like, yeah, that feels so good to hear. I'm not over that yet, Comic books and those characters were so important in my childhood. They fostered my own creativity in such an important way. And gave me sort of a canvas and some characters to work with to start learning how to build my own stories. They're really important in my development. And so to see these guys all interact and punch motherfuckers and, stop some cosmic threat, I'll never not be pleased. You'll never get me to really shit on any of these comic book movies. Not really. Maybe Suicide Squad was kind of shitty. Pretty shitty. But other than that, even that's fun. This movie, I was disappointed, dude. Out of 5 stars or 5 measurement units, I don't know if that's copywritten. Can we do 5 stars? Let me check with my lawyers. Can I do 5 stars? No. 5, sunsets. Out of 5 sunsets, I would give this movie a straight up 3.5 sunsets, because it didn't really please me. The main villain's pretty awesome. The fights seem like classic comic book fights. That's all true. Why isn't it doing it for me, man? Why aren't they pushing the button for me? I don't know. It seems a little disjointed, I guess, somehow. I think that 2 different directors messed with this movie. They both, got involved at some point. I don't really know how that went. Somebody got fired or whatever, or quit or whatever. And some other guy came over and got the final edit and reshot some shit. And it really does somehow feel like that. It feels like, there's funny stuff happening, and then there's like all this dire shit happening. And I felt kind of annoyed by The Flash, which is sort of a shame. I know that everybody needs to be the comic relief because they're trying to keep up with the Avengers, and the Marvel movies are fucking hilarious. The recent Thor movie was fucking great, and I know Infinity War is going to be the shit. And I'm more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan, I must say. Even though I love Batman, I just wish I could pick him up and put him in the Marvel universe. But I guess we got Moon Knight in the Marvel universe. Isn't he Marvel? I think so. Yeah, this movie, it's okay. Whatever. Skippable, dog. Maybe like... it's going to be one of those iconic things that is so part of what's happening in our culture right now. The comic book stuff just seems to be huge on the cultural landscape right now. A lot of comic book movies getting made, obviously. And I think comic books in general are still kicking, dude. I think they're getting some high quality attention at this point. And I'm following some of those stories that just seem really out there and wonderful. Beautiful, those pieces of art that they make. Fuck yeah. But God damn it, this movie, Justice League, I feel like I don't need to see another Justice League movie. I get it. They're all gonna, and like, fuck Superman. Can I just come out and say, I'm so over Superman. If we could just have left him dead for, a movie or what the fuck ever. I guess you could say he was dead during Suicide Squad, I guess. But, man, Superman sucks. He's just this, like, impossible to beat. He's the opposite of Batman in a lot of ways, obviously. They pair together nicely because of that. But, Superman, especially just, like, mournful Superman, if you could beat the fuck out of every bad guy that the universe throws at you, and you got this, like, cute lady friend, and you got a steady job if you want one, but also, like, you probably don't even really need to eat. You probably just need to get a suntan, and then all of a sudden you're, sustained for 1,000,000 years or what the fuck ever. You're not smiling, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? You're not happy? Why ain't you happy, man? You know what would make me happy? You know what I would forgive this franchise? If they did this. If they show Superman shaving in just one of these movies, dude, in the mirror with the laser vision in the mirror and then back onto his face, and he's shaving his face that way. Because I can't imagine how else he could do it. You've got to give me that, Other than that, you're not winning me over, man. They're not listening to this, of course. Just us. It's just us. Fuck Superman. Put it out there. Fuck Superman. I'm on team fuck Superman. He's fine. I respect the legacy of his character, and there are some good Superman stories for sure. But, like, in this movie, as soon as they push Superman button, you don't need to worry about this bad guy anymore. Superman can just punch his ass to the moon or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Superman, we have a problem. There's this guy with a giant axe and all this shit, and these demons follow him around. Oh, really? Okay, well, I'm just going to roll over there and I'm going to throw him into the sun. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't fly, the bad guy in this movie. He can't just, like, flap his wings and stabilize himself and come back to Earth. No, if Superman throws him into the sun, he's in the sun. If you can beat him by punching him in the fucking balls, then you can beat him by throwing him into the fucking sun. All of these movies are going to be 5 minutes long now. Oh no, the Joker's robbing a bank. Oh, cool. I'm going to throw his ass into the sun. And oh no, fucking Darkseid is arriving. Oh no, Darkseid. Well, Darkseid can fly, I guess. I'll fly him into the sun while I hold him in my hands because I'm Superman, And I'm powered by the sun. I could go stand on the sun, probably. So I might as well just take Darkseid, who probably can't stand on the goddamn sun. You know what I'm saying? It just seems, I don't think I would enjoy writing a story where you have a character that just, like, is impervious to damage, and every once in a while somebody has this special rock that makes him weak, but they almost never fucking use it, and not in any meaningful way. Lex Luthor ought to get a machine gun full of, kryptonite bullets and shoot his ass, or, shoot Lois Lane's ass with him, and when he comes to get her, fucking shoot his ass too. Maybe that's the plan in the next movie. Snipe his ass. I don't know. He's fast. He can dodge shit. But goddammit, there's a way to get this shit in his system. You know what you do? You get, I believe in the comics one time they shot an arrow at him. Green Arrow, I believe, shot an arrow at Superman. And Superman caught it, of course, right before it hit his face, because he's being a motherfucker about it. He just catches it right before it hits him. But it had like a powder packet on it that exploded in Superman's face at that point, and it was full of kryptonite powder, and he breathed it in. It fucked him up. That's why isn't everyone doing that? What's the market like for kryptonite powder? It can't be that hard. If you got kryptonite and, like a fucking mortal and a mortar and pestle or what the fuck ever, I believe you could beat Superman. You know what I'm saying? You could beat him prank style. You could go to the office at the Daily Planet or what the fuck ever that shitty newspaper's called, and you put a bucket of kryptonite powder above the door that's slightly ajar, and you call Clark Kent into the room. He opens it. You maybe put some lead plating on the wall or something so he can't see through it. But then he opens that shit. The bucket falls on him. Hilarious. And then you shoot him in the fucking face. Fuck a Superman. I'm on Lex Luthor's team as far as that's concerned. I think that Superman, not a good guy. I don't know. He chooses to be a good guy, I guess. Superman versus Batman was a good idea. We've seen it a few times in the comics, but the movie was disappointing as well. But I liked his mask maybe a little bit better in the last movie. I don't know. This movie, his face seemed squished. Poor Superman. Or poor Batman. Superman's face seemed weird too, but I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Anyway, there you go. Oh my God. 23 minutes? What an asshole. I talked forever about this. I knew I would. That's how I knew it would be an episode. Thank you for listening to this. I don't really recommend that movie. I don't really recommend it. But I do think, fuck Superman. Hashtag fuck Superman. That's what I think. At the end of the movie, they beat the bad guy and everything kind of returns to normal. But now that you've seen Superman beat the fuck out of this dude that all the other members of the Justice League were getting their asses kicked by, you start to go why is Superman, on a team at all? You know what I mean? It just seems like he's being a dick most of the time anyway. Okay, sorry. Fuck a Superman. And thank you very much for listening to this show. Thanks for listening to this episode of Ando's Thinky Time podcast. Check out andyeppler.com for all of the episodes. And also check out patreon.com/Ando the Artist. Get this song. Isn't this song groovy? I'm grooving, man. I'm digging it. I like this song. You could listen to this song all the time, man. If only you would come sign up and subscribe. You'll receive monthly stuff from me, man. Monthly little treats from my world. Straight to you, friend. Come be a supporter. Come give me a little bit of cash every once in a while. Meanwhile, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.